So when it comes to best business cases, lots of people have their own Excel or different ways of doing this. But in this part of the presentation, I'm just going to more talk about conceptually, how do we build a business case, and what things do we think are important in getting a successful one. I'm sure lots of you have seen some of the large numbers of battery requests coming into grids. So some grids are seeing tens of gigawatts of grid requests of new batteries trying to be put online. You know, one way you could look at that is that they all have the same chance of being actually coming true, but a lot of these batteries will never get built, maybe because they don't have a strong business case, or for some other reason. So it's not really a challenge these days on buying the equipment or getting the land or getting the capital. It's about building a strong business case that is bankable, attractive for investors, it has the right partners, and everything integrates well together. So for example, we have a lot of those upfront costs that people are very familiar with, things like the battery system, the inverter, balance of plant. All of those things are very typical front of mind when building a business case. But the ongoing part of the business case is a bit harder to estimate or become bankable. So as we mentioned, we have our revenue streams like the balancing markets, the wholesale markets. I've included here the local flexibility markets. These aren't massive in the Nordics yet, but in the future, they'll play a larger role. There are also other parts of costs, so things like fines or how much imbalance you may have, paying for your warranty, which may change, maybe the cost changes as time goes on. Also things like battery health and degradation. These can be quite hard to estimate. Also things like your grid costs and your partner costs. Some of these can be quite variable or maybe fixed fee. I think overall, from some of the business cases I've seen, this area, these ongoing costs, this is where the business case can have such a wide range of scenarios, or the difference between like a high-low scenario could be massive. So getting a really clear understanding of these points is crucial to a successful case. But also, if we can do this well and do it in a really nice way, that helps make the business, the project a lot more bankable. Now I'm going to step through a few different things that customers typically ask us to help with to make a strong business case. So basically additional analysis to make sure we make the right decisions. So one, the most typical is revenue stack breakdowns. A lot of people ask for this, not just to know the gross revenue per year, but also to know where's it coming from? What types of markets? Where do I think I'm going to be making money? And what are the scenarios if a certain market disappears or the rules change a bit, or if prices change, how will this stack evolve? Another one is comparing between price zones. So in places like Sweden or Norway, there are multiple price zones. The prices may be different, maybe the activations are different. So picking the right area or picking the right country can have a large impact on the attractiveness of a BESS in that place. Another interesting one is revenue or cycling heat maps. So looking at how much money am I expected to make at different times of the day or different seasons. Also, am I expected to cycle a lot in winter or at nighttime? This is really important for things like your DSO cost analysis, but also things like your warranty and your degradation. Another one is looking at different system sizes. So things like 2-hour or 3-hour systems, these are becoming more interesting for energy markets. And doing analysis on this may mean that paying for a more expensive system actually has a better return or better bankability. DSO costs or grid tariffs are a really hot topic right now because some of these are changing quite quickly. We're seeing DSOs or even TSOs changing the way they charge for not just the grid connection, but the ongoing tariff. So the fixed and the variable fee, this is something that can change quite quickly. In general, prices are coming down as people are more focused on battery specific setups, but this is still something to put a lot of effort into. And then for co-located projects, there's a lot of different pieces you can do for this, but one example here is just the sizing of different components. So in the blue, you can see, for example, wind production, but sometimes people will cap their inverter or have a smaller grid connection. there's so many different ways we can optimize these systems and have a battery connected to them to make a strong business case. But in summary, the business case can be complex if you want to go down into all these different scenarios and test everything out. But doing all of this analysis and doing it in the right way can be a strong indicator of success. So if you do build a strong business case, that should be a great guide for the design of your solution and where you take it from there.